Welcome back to another theory video. We're going to be covering Yellowjackets season 2. Jules, you're here. What's up?
Hey.
You're here.
You're here. What's up?
Yeah. So we have a special guest today, Kay Bly. Welcome. I'm very excited for you to be on. Why don't you explain real quick what you guys do and talk about the fifth wall, horror and hooch and all that.
Yes. So I am Kay Bly. I am one half of the Horror and Hooch podcast. You can find us on Spotify and YouTube under the Fifth Wall YouTube channel. Fifth Wall is a media company. We do podcasts, interviews, comic books, short stories, short films, art events, community service, all the above. Awesome. And Horror Hooch is the horror, the spooky side of things. And so I am happy to be here and talk Yellowjackets, because if you say the word spooky, horror, scary, Horror Hooch is there.
This sounds like we're going to be good friends, because everything you just talked about, I love, and we do on the Invaders podcast too. So this is a perfect match. Since you're here, before we read our comments, and if you're new here to the channel, we're going to read some viewer comments in just a little bit, talk about their theories, see if we agree, see if we can come to the bottom of anything. We try to figure things out. We have a lot of good comments lined up. So before we get to them, let's hear out your theories, Kay Bly. What's your craziest theory?
I got some theories here. Okay, so hang with me now. One of them is about Shauna, because there's a comment that I always thought Shauna was a little off, always. But there was this one comment that she made to her husband that made me really be like, I knew you was crazy. So when she was telling her husband that, when he was in his feelings about her, cheating with that one guy, she was just like, I always liked the thought of you being with someone else. And that's kind of like trying to bring her reasoning into cheating. And so when she told him that made me think that, did she only like him because he was with Jackie at
Probably,
first?
yeah.
Because she kind of told on herself, which kind of shows like you don't maybe really, really like him. You only like him because of that adrenaline rush. You liked him because he was with someone else.
Yeah, it was that like taboo element to it.
Exactly. And now that it's not like he doesn't belong to anyone else anymore, it's not he wasn't cheating on her like she thought that he was in season 1. It's just like fizzling. And so I'm like, was Shauna crazy before the plane crash?
Yes.
It seems like it, yeah.
I am very certain that the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, she's a deeply flawed character. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, not only did she steal this Jackie's boyfriend, but she ate her. Like, come on, poor Jackie. Jeez. Man.
And the boyfriend that she really don't even want like that. She only wanted him because he was with her. You took this girl's man. She was really, Jackie really cared about him. Shauna, not so much. You took him, got pregnant by him, and then ate your best friend. Very
and it's just like mostly fine now. Like, she's just like going about her daily life. Like, you ate your friend.
You ate your friend, and more where that we're gonna find out. And one big thing, I'm like super excited. You know how when they don't want to talk to reporters and everything, and like Misty said last week, like there's things, and Shauna said there's things that we just don't want to talk about. Like, we did some bad things. Like, I want to see those bad things, and we're going to.
Yeah.
So it's fun. But we do have some theories that we're going to get to later. So we're going to address, how Shauna's pregnant in the past. Someone has a theory on who that baby is, that baby did survive. We don't have any concrete answers on that yet. We'll talk about that. Jeff, man, you mentioned Jeff K, and I'm just like, no, that dude sucks. He's so annoying this season. He's so annoying.
Like him.
Anytime he talks, I'm just like, shut up.
Like,
just
stop whining already.
Yeah, he's not my favorite character.
He should have noticed that she was crazy a long time ago. Like, how's it just now?
How have you made it this long?
This far, and now you just now realizing something's a little off with her. I'm not understanding.
Right? Like, I assume he doesn't know that she ate Jackie, right?
No, he can't know that. No.
I wonder if he's going to find out this season.
That'd be funny
to see what happens.
Because I'm trying to figure out what's going to be his his breaking point, because he's not handling the real Shauna.
He's not handling anything. Remember when he was talking to Kevin the cop? How he was talking to this dude?
He was awful.
Might as well have said, "Hey, we did it, and I'm gonna lie about it." He might as well have said that, because he sounded so ridiculous. He was like stumbling on his words,
and just like very like overacting.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
felt
dude,
like a bad Lifetime movie.
It's just so cringy. makes my skin crawl. I'm like, shut up. Just like, honestly, if you say nothing, you're in a better position than you are after this conversation. Like, seriously, he could have walked up to Kevin and said, I hate your shoes, and walked out, and he would have been in a better position than he is now. It's just like, could have totally confused him. But yeah, he's not my favorite character. What's your other theories?
Okay. Have you guys seen the movie Barbarian that came out last year?
Loved it. It was probably my favorite horror movie last year. It's so
I
good.
heard it was really good. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
It's very good. It's on HBO Max. Yeah.
Perfect.
I feel like a lot of the unexplained things that keep happening in the cabin, like when they're like, oh, somebody took somebody's, the food. And remember there was like somebody pooped in the bucket and didn't empty it. And then somebody keeps hearing like these drops of something. I think there's somebody else there.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
That makes a lot of sense.
But it could be because they just found a random abandoned cabin, whatever. I feel like there's somebody or some people that's there that they don't know about yet.
That would absolutely make sense. And I kind of feel like that too. Like, I feel like, especially with like the shrine thing that Lottie finds, like, I feel like there has to be someone there that set all that up, right?
Because how was Hobby alive in the snow all this time?
Right. He had to survive somehow.
He had been in one of these underground locations or something, because there's someone else there hanging out.
For sure.
And who made the symbols on the trees? That could have been there before.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good point. It's like a lost aspect to it, that there's like a hidden community hanging out in the shadows. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that could be very plausible, and that could go hand in hand with a comment that I know we have later from Kizenbell. So yeah, I like that a lot. It's good.
Okay, my other theory, I'm gonna speak on it when we get to the comments, because I seen a theory that kind of lines. I seen a comment that kind of goes along with this theory. So I'm gonna wait till we read the comment section, and then I'm gonna give you my theory.
Okay, so I have one that I'm gonna say before the video ends, but yeah, let's get into the comments. So first up is going to be Lord Farquaad, Jules.
So Lord Farquaad says, y'all aren't going to be talking so nicely about Misty after she kills Crystal next week.
One question. Who the fuck is Crystal? Who the fuck is Crystal?
Same question. Is it one of like the unnamed Yellowjackets?
It's gotta be. Oh, she's one of Lottie's like follower, like Lottie's fans. The girls that like praise Lottie.
Is it the one girl who was like hardcore defending Lottie?
Yeah, it looks like her.
The one who was like so adamant about them like having this competition.
That makes me think of this other theory somebody said, that those other girls in that cabin don't even exist, that they hallucinating. Because who is being friends with Misty?
I would be. I love Misty.
Yes, but back then she was so annoying. She was so annoying. Come on.
On Crystal, real quick. I'm on the Yellowjackets wiki, right? And they have Crystal portrayed by Nuha Jess Eisman. Her first episode was Friends, Roman's Countrymen from last year. She's an identical twin, but her twin was absorbed in the womb.
Because remember, she was the
one.
I was
going to say, didn't she say that?
Oh, yeah, she said that? Okay.
She was like, oh, yeah. She said, I've eaten someone before.
That's what it was.
Okay. Well,
but exactly, it was like, but what does that have to do with anything? You were in the, like, how does that correlate?
Yeah, you didn't actually consume that person.
Purposeful.
Like, you didn't like purposely like, no.
I would say that doesn't count. It's not like barbecue.
Yeah, it wasn't Shauna just like popping the ear back in her mouth like it was a TikTok.
Yeah, real quick, Lord Farquaad, if you know that for a fact and you just spoiled this, not cool.
Oh, I'm going to be so mad.
Not cool. But
also great guess.
There's no way to prove either way. So if you get it right, I'll tip my cap to you, I guess. Either way, I'm still going to love Misty. She clearly made mistakes in the past, but her in the future is my homie, because the way she treats people, the way she's the first one to defend her friends, she's just, who else is doing more than Misty in the future, in current time? She's all over the place.
Like, do you think maybe that indicates that Misty did like the worst of the worst on that? When they were stranded? So like she's trying her hardest to protect everybody because she wants to protect herself ultimately.
Or she just wants friends.
Well, yeah,
it could be that too. Yeah.
Like, that's someone hang out with me.
That's the way I take it. Because remember season 1, she was just like, and especially in the past scene, she was just like so awkward, and she just didn't really have a place. She wasn't even on the team. She like helped the team. So she was always like an outsider. Yeah, outsider. And
she also did drug everybody accidentally, but like,
yeah, She has her faults. Don't get me wrong. She has her faults. But I love Misty, and I'll always back her. Misty Walter wedding happening.
Misty, I like that.
Misty. Yeah. Okay. Next comment is Art is Life. K Black.
Art is Life. They wrote, the therapist gave the worst advice. I suspect she's part of a larger conspiracy. And so that was also one of my theories, because, okay, I am a therapist, and no ethical therapist would tell someone on meds, I'm not going to prescribe anymore because we're going to talk about these visions a little bit more and dive
Never,
into
ever.
that is
Never,
not
ever.
ethical. Now, maybe if you're like a spiritual therapist or you're a holistic therapist and we're talking, but as a mental health counselor, no, that's unethical. And I was just like, you can't do that. You can't say that.
Right.
So immediately I'm like, is this something is up with that therapist? Are they one of those people who are Yellowjacket fanatics? And it's like, maybe if we get her off her meds, we can learn the truth.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
And she was like filling in, right? That's what she said. I know you're not my real doctor.
It wasn't her normal doctor. So
little
I
convenient.
Agree. I think she seems like a spy. She's a cop.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's something that they could try to like get it by us real quick by, don't notice this, but it's right there in front of your face.
Glaze over it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I do like that because it doesn't make sense. Like, why would someone that's filling in give this kind of advice? It's weird.
I feel like they wouldn't even be allowed to do that.
Yeah, like, yo, go trip out. Go have some visions.
Exactly. That is unethical.
Yeah. All right.
They might not even be a real therapist at this point, and not just not her, but they're probably not even a real counselor.
I'd be like, ma'am, I need to see your credentials. This is not right.
Okay, that's a good one. Next up is from Nunya Business. Awesome name. And they say Lisa is Shauna's baby, adopted. If you guys remember, Lisa is the character that Natalie hit, and now Natalie went with her to talk to her mom. She was there supporting. So they think that Lisa is the baby that Shauna was pregnant with when they were stranded. And that would be wild. I think that's cool.
That would be wild. I mean, there's
no evidence
the
for
age
it.
range.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering like what led them to that conclusion.
I wouldn't put it past Lottie to put that together.
I thought Lottie said it was a boy.
Did she?
Or maybe I just made that. I don't know. I feel like they said Shauna's baby was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people just assume that baby's dead. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Really? I just had to read that because I really kind of want it to happen. That would be crazy.
I'd be real impressed if they could keep a baby alive out there.
Yeah. And then like, why would she be separated from the baby in the first place? Like, why? What happened with that? Really?
And
like,
what's his name? No, just her husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
That's actually that's a great question. I don't know. If she didn't tell him that she ate Jackie, I feel like she didn't tell him about the baby either.
Yeah, I just assume he's clueless about everything. Fucking Jeff.
Jeff.
Next is from a new subscriber. Welcome. Their name is Dalcinia Dames Tucker, and she says, the plane crashed in the Canadian Rockies. Lottie's cult camp, Green Pine, is located in a rural area off Route 19 somewhere in upstate New York. Lottie has taken the time to replicate her camp to look like where they crashed and were stranded because she's attached, as they all are in some way.
I mean, I kind of figured it wasn't the same place, but they did a great job of replicating that shrine.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Clearly she's doing this cult, whatever, because of when she was stranded, it had such a big effect on her because they're doing some of the same rituals with the masks and everything. Yeah. So it's clear that they're connected. So
I guess everyone like processes trauma differently, but like it just feels a little strange to submerge yourself in a place that looks exactly like where you experienced all that trauma. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Also, though, Batman, his name's Batman because he's scared of bats. So it's like face your fears type of thing.
Is he really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Not a big Batman gal.
So Lottie's Batman.
It's my favorite superhero. Love
that
Batman.
Is so funny. Okay, so this is a long one. Bear with me. In the first section, she says the symbol that they keep seeing, Lottie said she felt it means protection. To me, it kind of looks like the symbol for women on the restroom signs with its arms up and a line going through it. Maybe that means there needs to be a sacrifice for the land whenever it wants blood. Whenever a sacrifice is given, whatever supernatural force is wanting the blood will protect them. Maybe that's why we see one of the girls fall into a pit and sacrificed in the first episode of season 1. So that's the first part. And I think that makes a whole lot of sense.
Very
I
good.
mean, I
Very
can't
well
really,
done,
I can't
Kizabel.
really think of anything else that would explain what that symbol means. What do you think, Kay?
Because I've always been curious about what that means. Is it that is that the symbol that represents this entity, or is it, you know, like Prince, like boom, here go my symbol. This is me. or or is it like we have to put this symbol on something, you know, as like a religious marking, as like this is something that's going to protect you, or you know what I mean? Like, is
Okay.
that their protective symbol?
That's a great question. I never really thought of like that symbol being like the actual entity. So that's
Yeah.
very interesting. She doesn't say, it's in a different comment, but she also discusses potentially, you know how they had the map where they like mapped out all the trees that had the symbol on it. Kizabel thinks that could be like an underground tunnel system, which I think is a really cool theory. And it would explain a lot about like Hobby being able to survive that long. And it would explain, like you were saying, Cable, about how like maybe someone else is in the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very easy to hide a bunch of other people if you had an underground tunnel system. So
And like, I'm starting to really buy that theory that there's more people around, at least
there
one
has to
person,
be.
because like also didn't he just look like he was possessed or he was like brainwashed or
Yeah.
something?
Like
It
he
looked
had
like
no
somebody was
idea what
messing
was
with him.
going on.
Yeah, he was out of it. So I mean, he was on his own for quite a bit, but it just seems like something happened with him.
Yeah, like
That
either it's underground people or he like got abducted by aliens. So
yeah,
I'd be
honestly.
okay with either, realistically.
Or
So,
he might not be all the way there. Like he may have died, but with this, you know, this spiritual entity or this cult-like thing, you know, if they're resurrecting people, you know what happens when you resurrect people? They're there, but they're not there.
but they're not all there.
They're not all there.
That's a great point. That is
Yeah.
a great point. I think I saw a couple comments talking about how he could be resurrected. And that's, I mean, with all of like the cult stuff that they're doing and all the weird, like all the
Rituals.
rituals
Yeah.
that they're doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them to be able to just be like, nope, you're not dead anymore. So,
Mhm.
so part 2, Kiz says, Lottie has been having some crazy visions recently. First with the blood in the hive, which she told Nat earlier that whenever a new queen hatches, it will sting all of the other queens so that the hive can survive. Then she kept seeing the queen card with its eye scratched out. I think that might be referencing the eyeless person that Ty sees all the time, which I think that guy represents death. So both of those visions to me is saying that one of the Yellowjacket survivors needs to be sacrificed. I think this is why Lottie went up to the tree stump and spilled some of her own blood while asking, can this just be enough?
It's not really fair. She does have extra help this year. Remember she's, or for this show, because remember she said her husband's watching too. So she has
Oh, that's right.
has-
What's up, Mr.
she has 2
Kizabel?
brains. Yeah, Mr. Kiz. Okay, that's really good. I like that a lot. So obviously something's going to happen with this person with no eyes that Ty brings up, right? That's something that's been following her, something that's like a part of her. So yeah, that's interesting. Now Ty, I can't wait to see her character development from now on, because now she's back with Van, like in person. They're going to communicate and talk again. So I want to see how her character goes from the mom who's just worried about not messing up and not harming her kid to now she's, you know, not with them right now because they don't trust her for good reason. And now she's on kind of a personal journey. And who does she go to? The person that was there for her the most when she needed someone the most, like Van and her.
And someone who
they're
knows
inseparable.
everything that happened to her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to try to live this life where she just pretends everything's fine.
Mm-hmm. And Van was like huge in trying to help her when that other version of her would take over. So it's happening to her now. She's having these episodes where she wakes up somewhere and she's like, oh, happened again. So Van's gonna be there to help her with it.
Some questions about Ty. because I initially was thinking that if you think about things psychologically, Ty is a very logical person. So therefore, her brain can't wrap around supernatural. And when your brain can't wrap around supernatural, it regresses and represses those things. And
Yeah.
so everything that she's repressing comes out at night, and we get night Taissa. Because, logical reasoning thinking, Taissa, I'm not a spiritual person. I don't do paranormal. I don't do supernatural. But if these things are still taking place somehow, and her mind is trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And you get night terrors and nightmares
Mhm.
and these, hallucinations and stuff when you repress things. And then I also am like, is that Taissa, or is she possessed and that's someone else walking around as Taissa at night? Especially if
That would be really
this
cool.
is something that's been like, if there's like been an entity attached to her family that her family's seen. Is this a psychotic factor in Taissa because of her repressed trauma doing the night walking or the sleepwalking, or is it a possession?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I've been pondering the same thing as well, because it's so hard to like it really could be as simple as, well, I guess it's not simple, but as explainable as, like you said, it's just a psychological thing. I could see her being possessed for sure.
I just thought of the worst dad joke, and I don't know if I should share it. But
You should.
okay. So when the other person takes over, should we call it nighttime?
I have to go. I have another meeting actually. Oh my God, Dan, that was bad.
What can I say? Nighttime. Okay.
I love
let's move
bad
on.
jokes though.
Yeah.
Oh, so do I. They're my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one more, and this is from the new subscriber again, Dulcinea Dames Tucker. She has a reply to this comment that just makes it a little more fun. So, K-Bly, how about you read that one?
Yes, this is talking about the whole queen theory because I'm sure, this show shows us a lot of symbolism that we're trying to interpret on our own. And so Dulcinea says, love your theories, all of them. Here's my theory on the queens that may tie a little into your theory. I believe there is more than one queen, and the queens do change. Jackie was the first so-called queen until Lottie dethroned Jackie in season 1. Lottie to Jackie, you are not needed anymore. Lottie to Jackie, season 1. Then there's Taissa, her alter ego, Queen 2. Then I believe Nat, the white caribou, that Nat's comment to Travis, there are no queens in that deck of cards, season 1. Lottie mentions this season that when a new queen is born, she has to kill all of the other queens or they all will starve. 4 queens in a deck of cards. Thanks for your time.
I like it a lot.
Me too. And I think, the show's called Yellowjackets, so it makes sense that they would use that kind of symbolism with like the queen bee and stuff. I like the idea of there being multiple queen bees, so to speak, and that they kind of have to like fight each other. I would assume that means like when they were stranded, but I guess that could carry over into the now times too.
That's what's so fun about shows like these and week to week shows where there's stuff to dig into and try to think your own way out of it. So I feel a little better about the symbols now at this point. You guys want to hear my one theory that I have? Now, I alluded to this before in a prior video, but now I'm going to go concrete with it. I think where they're stranded is a different realm. I think you can't, like, think Wakanda. You have to go through certain longitude and latitude to get in, right? You got to go through a certain. Yeah. So I think if you just walk up to where they are, if you don't go in through the passageway,
like a force field, if you don't go through it, you can't get to it.
If you don't go through that way specifically, you're not going to find them. And I think that's part of the reason why they're stuck. And it could be controlled by these other characters that you think KBI are around, other people around that like know about this.
That's good.
So-
I really like that, actually.
Yeah. So that's my big one. But hey, we're about midway through the season, and there's a lot more answers that we're gonna get. And like, if this continues from the trend of last week, where we got a lot of answers and it was like jam packed with info, then I would expect a lot more. I think this show would be perfect if they did 3 seasons, maybe 4. I think if they stretch it out any longer than that, it could get a little sloppy, because it seems like it's set up for something big, a big reveal, and then you close it out. I think that's what they should do with this show.
I
So-
would say 3 seasons max. But
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how quickly they shovel out info in this season, though, maybe 2 seasons is going to wrap it up nicely.
I like that theory that you have there. And maybe that's why they haven't been rescued yet, is that nobody
Yeah.
can get to them.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
it does make a lot of sense, because like, you would think a plane crash full of high school girls and there would be some kind of urgency to go up there and search for them. They had to
Yeah.
have known the approximate area where they crashed, right?
100%. Yeah, definitely. You would know when the plane lost like radar, when it went off of radar.
Yeah.
You'd see the last known location, and yeah, they'd put out. It's not like it crashed on like a remote island. It's in North
Right.
America somewhere. The season's getting a lot better. I was worried for a little bit, but I think it's getting a lot better, and I'm excited for the next episode. Okay, Bly, you're welcome back whenever you want. We're going to do another live stream in a couple weeks.
Please.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look,
Figure this out
I'm
together.
here. Yes. Thank you guys for having me and being a part of this. And I hope you guys will join us on an episode of Horror and Hooch soon. We'll see what everybody's watching, what horror
100%.
shows, and we can collaborate.
yeah.
We're gonna do this again.
Absolutely.
Love it.
I'm down. And also let me know your socials. I'll post everything in the description. So if you guys want to find her channel, just go to the description and sub away. All right. Thanks so much for all your comments. Thanks so much for listening. Take it easy. Later.
Bye, guys.